Welcome back to Pete's Workshop. Well, today we can see we got the bonnet open on the MK7 GTI. We're going to fix the heater support pump. I have just been doing some additional fault finding on the heater support pump. You can see I've actually bought a replacement one here ready to put on. But last time I pulled the pump off, I left it disconnected. This morning I've now just connected that pump and found out that it's actually running all of the time while the ignition's on. And this is not right. This should not be on all of the time. And that's obviously why we're getting a fault here. So when we look at the actual fault on OBD11, it comes up as this P16C100. It's a static, and it also says here it's open circuit. So it's actually not true, it's not open circuit. If it was open circuit, the pump wouldn't run at all. So I was able to reach down under here and I can actually disconnect that pump, and I was able to put the test one down, well, the new one that we're testing with, put that down and plug it in. So the good thing about that is then I was able to go to OBD11 to output test, and I can go down the bottom here and select heater support pump, and then we can actually activate the pump on and off. So the beauty of that is I can feel that pump when I've got it down there, and I can feel it turning on, and then when it turns off, it turns off. So that is what the new one is doing. That is not what the one on the car is doing. So we're going to replace that. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's very difficult to get to, but it is possible. So let's get stuck in. So to get enough access here, because we've got to get down to the heater hose as well. So that hose down here where my finger is, it's in the shadow at the moment, but that hose there goes to that pump, and we've got to be able to get to both of the hoses on that pump to do it. So to get access to that, we're going to have to pull the battery out, and I'm going to drop the coolant as well. I hate just wasting coolant, so I'm just going to jack it up. We'll drop it from the bottom, and then that'll limit the amount of coolant that I'll lose. So I've just taken the hose off. This hose here goes straight up, so just one hose clamp, pull that off, and it drops pretty well most of it out of the system. Well, I wouldn't say that, but it drops a good amount. And I just make sure I use a nice clean container, seal that up, because we're going to put that back in and reuse it. I've got the battery out, so that allows me to get my hand down, up, in through here. Now, I'm not going to say this is easy, but it can be done. Now, if we look down through here, got to get the light in the right place as well, which is difficult. So I can see my socket down in through here. Down through here. That shiny bit just down there is my socket extension. Can't really see it, it's too hard to get in there with my phone, but I've got the socket extension poking out, basically underneath the turbo control actuator down there, and I'll put a ratchet on it and remove it. Okay, so I've got my ratchet onto my extension bar, and you can look down through here. You can see my socket, which is a 10mm triple square. This is exactly what I used to remove that 10mm triple square. So a little wobble bar, short extension, and then my ratchet. So carefully take that out. Now the water pump and the bracket is loose. We should be able to pull that back a bit to get the hoses off. So I've managed to get my hose clamp pliers down there, and I've been able to back out the clamp That one down there. Of course, oh, there we go. It's focusing a little bit better. But yeah, not easy, but possible. So they're both loose. Now I just got to get the hoses off the pump. And here we have the pump out. So basically it sits like this onto the engine block. So we've got a locating dowel which goes into a hole in the block, and then we've got that triple square bolt that goes through from this direction. So we can see we've got a little heat shield on it, a little booty. Be really careful with these press studs. Put a little screwdriver, right down in between, and just leave them open, because you don't want to rip those press studs out of where they're supposed to be. So this one's popped open so I could get to the connector. I think the cable comes from underneath around the back here, plugs in, then this can go over the top. It may come over the top, I can't quite recall. We'll work that out. But now we can swap over the bracket and put it all back together again. And this is what the pump looks like with the jacket removed. So we've just got, again, some more torques. And of course we want to compare our old to new, and we look good. Well, we know that we've connected onto here, so that's good, but the orientation and the outlets look perfect. So we can swap this over. So I'm just putting the jacket back on. Just wanted to grab that part number there. So this part number is of the bracket itself. And then when we look at the original pump that came off, we're looking for a part number on that, which is here. 5Q0965561B. Okay, so that's all back together again. Like I said, I won't say it's easy, but it is possible. Getting those hoses and the hose clamps back on, basically underneath the turbo hose there. If that turbo hose wasn't there, it would be super easy to get to, but to remove that hard line, the plastic line there, is not this one. This is easy to remove, but that doesn't help you at all. So this line down here, if you're trying to remove that, it goes all the way down the front. There's going to be a whole lot of work to do that. Anyway, I've managed to do it. I've tightened it up. Now that cable, it goes over the top of the pump, and then plug it in, and then the jacket flips over, or flips over this way, and then press studs on there. So we are done with that job. Let's put the battery back in, see if our faults are cleared. After you do have the battery out, it takes a while to get everything to a normal state without any alarms. So we've driven it for a couple of cycles just to get everything working again. So now I can actually look at OBD11 and go through the modules, and I've got no faults. But right now we can actually go to, so we're in the engine module, and I can go to here to output test. Can scroll all the way to the bottom. We've got heater support pump. Now we can actually activate this. I can hear the pump running now. You probably won't be able to hear it. I've got rain at the moment on the roof as well. But now we can turn that pump on and off. And also when we go, obviously, to look at our faults, we currently do not have any faults. So we've cleared that heater support pump fault by replacing the pump, and now we have no issues. We can continue driving.